All right, fellas. So just finished hitting shoulders and arms, as you saw, and now I'm going to the grocery store. So I know I said I would be making videos more often, and then now it's been like a month. So it is what it is. I think the next video or the video after that will be a recap of, or rather, a progress update on the bulk. So both my physique and also strength. So it'll be similar to the first video I uploaded where I'm basically, doing some placement matches on all my exercises. I've made some progress and we'll see kind of where I'm at. I'll try to record each lift. So, there's a visual aid there. Now, some updates on goals and whatnot. So I'm still trying to gain about a pound a month, and that's been going good for the most part. There have been a couple months, I don't want to say here and there because it's only been 6 months, but there have been some time periods where I've kind of stalled and then maybe I've gained weight a little bit too aggressively. And it averages out to be, a pound-ish, maybe a little bit more per month, which is pretty good, I think. And I do feel pretty full all the time. And because I'm eating more and more food, my stomach always feels large, which sometimes I get into my head about that of like, man, I'm eating all this food and I'm just gaining excess body fat on my stomach, which I don't think is true. It just kind of feels like that. And I'm just trusting the process. Hopefully this is the bulk to end all bulks, but we'll see. I'm going to keep going for the rest of this year, no doubt, and most likely through the next year too. And with that, I am trying to do cardio 2 to 3 times a week and improve at it. So not just 2-3 mile runs. And, I've talked about this. So the past week, I did a slow 6 mile run, which felt really good. And it was a nice pace. I don't know what my heart rate was. I know to min-max, you're supposed to be in zone 2. I probably was in zone 2. It was a conversational pace. Normally, I'm probably, my heart rate is higher than that. And I don't really track it. I'm trying to slow down, though. Anyway, another thing I'd like to do now is do a Murph. So I attempted to do this last week, and I did not finish, which is okay. But if you don't know what that is, you are supposed to wear a 20-pound weight vest. I did not wear a 20-pound weight vest. And it's a 1 mile run and then 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 bodyweight squats, and another 1 mile run. And usually people, including myself, break it up into 20 sets of 5, 10, 15 for the pull-ups, push-ups, and squats. And I did the first mile run. I went too fast, I think. I underestimated how much fatigue it would carry over into the exercises. And I got through 15 sets and then I stopped, and it took me about 50 minutes. So according to ChatGPT, elite would be to do it under 40 minutes with the vest on. So I'm definitely far from that, but I'd like to do one under 40 minutes, and maybe that's a little ambitious, but I'd like to do one under 40 minutes this year. And so at the end of my workout today, I just did 3 rounds of the pull-ups and push-ups. On leg days, and it's only been a week since I've done this, but at the end of my leg day, I'm just doing 15 bodyweight squats, rest 15 seconds, and then repeat. And, the first time I did 3 sets of that. Now I did 4, and I'll slowly ramp it up. And I don't know if that's probably not the most optimal and specific way to train for the Murph, but given that I'm trying to do cardio in general and I'm trying to lift 4 to 5 days a week, I think that it's better than nothing. And maybe once every few weeks I'll attempt to do a Murph, or maybe not attempt, but maybe I'll do 10 rounds or something like that. And we'll see. I don't know what it'll look like as I incorporate, some Murph specific training, but I would like to do that. And my heart rate was, I don't even know how high when I tried to do this, when I actually tried to do the Murph, and it was brutal. I mean, I was dying. I definitely could have been more hydrated beforehand, and so Anyway, I underestimated it. I thought I was going to be able to do it in under an hour, and it took me 50 minutes to get through, I would say, probably 65% of it, maybe 60% of it. But, it's something to get excited about. Similar with the running. I'm still enjoying lifting, but the running is a new stimulus, and it's, a new activity to improve at. And you see those initial quick newbie gains, which, for lifting, honestly, I feel like I've always been a newbie novice. But yeah, so we are continuing the cardio. Also going to try to do a Murph, and maybe I'm throwing too many things in the mix, but also I think, who cares, Anyway. All right, fellas, so we went to the grocery store. We went to Chick-fil-A. I've got a vanilla iced coffee here. Chick-fil-A's got some pretty good coffee, I will say. I'm normally not into very sweet drinks, and I wouldn't say their coffee is overly sweet, but it's great, and it looks like the size is larger now. I didn't even ask for a larger size. Maybe they just gave it to me. I don't know. Usually it's smaller. But I've got a spicy biscuit meal I'm taking home right now with some hash browns. I mean, you tell me what's better than hitting the gym Saturday morning, getting in early, and going to the grocery store, and then Chick-fil-A to wrap it up. The boys have not been tapping lately, so to top it off, I would say that, tapping with the boys when I get home, sip on my coffee. But I don't know if that'll happen. I also would like to go on a run later, and it's 10 o'clock right now, 10 a.m., so maybe I'll do that in like an hour or two. Now, something that I was thinking about while I was at the grocery store was meal prepping. And this is not something I normally do or historically have done, but the last 2 weeks I've done it, or a couple of weeks, the past month or so I've done it, where I made like this shrimp pasta thing that I got from this YouTuber, Brian Lagerstrom, I think. And I follow a lot of his recipes. And so I made that, and I think there was maybe something else I prepped at one point, or a couple months ago I was making some pasta salad. Anyway, when I've done that, it has just taken off this mental burden of deciding what it is I'm going to have to make that week in the middle of the week. And, going after work, I'm going to the gym and coming home, and I'd rather not worry about cooking and just something's there. And so making the food on Sunday for the next few days, because, in a given week, maybe I'll get some pizza or like go out to eat with some people. It's not common, but here and there, right? I like last week I went out to sushi in the middle of the week. So like one of the meals, if I don't have something planned, that's okay. I can rummage in the kitchen for something. But in general, having like 3 or 4 out of the 5 weekdays, a meal that is just already in glass Tupperware. I don't need to take out multiple different containers and then put everything into one. It's just pop it in the microwave and you're good. It is so convenient, and it is also, you're kind of, if you plan in advance with anything, and things just usually go better. And in this case, that means that you're eating probably healthier food, and you're less tempted to order out. Which again, I'm not doing all the time or anything, but I would say that the cognitive burden is the most significant factor. So I went to the grocery store, and I'm thinking I'll make some sort of burrito bowl, some sort of like beef bowl, and I'll maybe show you what I end up doing this weekend. But I'm a fan of the meal prep. It does take hour, 2 hours on the weekend, but I'm a fan. And I'm a fan of this coffee. First sip I took was just straight vanilla, which was not great, but I just got to give it a mix. I'm driving, so I don't want to kill myself here. But when I get home, I'll enjoy that. Have some, seed oil infused food. Seed oil maxing, and we'll see what the rest of the weekend holds, you know. All right, what's up, fellas? It's been 5 days since the last clip. Morale's at an all-time low. That's just how it goes. But I didn't want to leave you hanging. I was talking about meal prep, and I did do it. I made basically a bunch of burrito bowl ingredients. It was okay. Chicken was kind of mid. And then I made like a Korean rice bowl type of situation. So that's what I'm having today. So I'll show you that in a sec. Real quick, I only went on one run this week. So, not great. But I've noticed that if I don't run in the morning, then it's just way too easy for me to skip the run. I'm not going to do it after the gym. Today I was like, let me sleep until 6 instead of whatever, 5:15 and run after I lift. I hit upper body after work. I'm not running. I'm not running right now. So that's unfortunate. But let me show you what we're working with here. And we've also got this guy here that he's just waiting for his dinner as well, aren't you, bud? All right. All right, here's what I'm talking about. This is probably 700 calories or something, probably a cup and a half of rice. We got some stir-fried bok choy in there, and then a bunch of ground beef. With the oils and stuff, I'm thinking this is 700-ish calories. Going to have one piece of bread. Yeah, actually, let me get to the DLC here. Going to have one piece of TJ's bread. This is 100 calories. Put some butter on there. Maybe we're talking another 50, 100 calories. TJ's POG. Have not tried this. It looks pretty fire. Good amount of carbs here, and I'm not sure what you think you're doing here, bud. Any case, so about 1,000-calorie meal here, maybe a little bit less, and then we'll top it off with some Haagen-Dazs ice cream, and off the night. And there you go.